Hi students, today we will discuss Unit 3 of First Flight titled Two Stories About Flying. As suggested by the title, the unit has two parts, His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty and Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. In this session, we will deal with The First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty. Before I move on to the lesson, let me take you back to your younger days when you would have learned cycling or swimming in your vacation time. Some of you would have learnt it naturally without any effort. But some of you may remember that you were afraid to take that first step. Something prevented you, some feeling that you might end up in danger, prevented you from taking that first step towards swimming or cycling. And some of you would have been able to overcome that and become successful in your attempt. But some of you, that fear would have held you back from pursuing that. Now in this particular lesson, we talk about a bird who faces such a situation. Now what is the most striking feature of a bird? Yes, its wings. And we always tell birds fly, birds fly. The two words are closely connected. So think of a situation, a bird is afraid to fly. A child being afraid to swim, a child being afraid to do cycling, it's okay, it might help him in future, it is an added gift, but it is okay if he doesn't know this also. But for a bird, not being able to fly, it's a different thing, right? So here, we discuss about a young seagull. Now a seagull is a long-winged, web-footed seabird, and it's usually grey or white in color. We talk about a young seagull who is afraid to fly. So shall we move on to the lesson? His first flight. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Now ledge is a narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall or a cliff. Here it is a cliff. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. Now, brink means edge. So somehow he felt that when he ran forward to the edge of the ledge and tried to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. So that how long it was, that made him afraid. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he was so sure that it is long way down, miles down, and my wings are not going to support me. So he didn't have self-confidence. He didn't trust his wings. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. So his brothers and his sister, so make a note that their wings were far shorter than the seagulls, but they did it. They ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away. They were not afraid. Their wings were much shorter than his. But this young seagull, he failed to muster up courage. Muster up courage means to gather that courage to take that plunge, to take that dive, which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So his parents had come to him, calling him shrilly. Shrilly means in a shrill voice, calling out to him, yes, come on, do it. Upbraiding him. Upbraiding means scolding. Threatening to let him starve on his ledge. They even threatened him. If you don't do it, you will starve. We will not give you anything. You can imagine similar situation in your house when you are reluctant to do something which you must do. Your parents know that it is a must for you, but you may not know it that time. You don't want to do it, but your parents want you to learn that art. So what all will they do? First they try to make you understand. Then they scold you, and then last they will threaten you that if you don't do that, they will not give you something, right? The same way, the parents of the young seagull first called out to him in a shrill voice, yes, come on, do it. Then they scolded him, and then finally they threatened to let him starve on his ledge. You will not be given any food unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move, but nothing could tempt him to do that. He could not do it. That was 24 hours ago. So this situation, it happened 24 hours ago. 24 hours have passed after this. Since then, nobody had come near him. So they all have given up, it seems. They all tried, but he didn't move. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. So this is they should learn. The seagull should learn. So the parents were perfecting the other children in these skills. So this young seagull watched all day long. It watched all this. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Devour means eat quickly. Okay. Herring, the meaning is given there, a soft-finned sea fish. So he watched that also, his brother, older brother, how he caught his first herring and devoured it, standing on a rock, while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. Naturally, any parent will be proud when their child achieves something. So when the elder brother caught his first herring and ate it quickly, the parents were very happy, circled around it, raising a proud, showing that they were proud of him. All this, the young seagull is watching from top of the ledge. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. And all the morning, what did the whole family do? Whole family, his parents and his siblings. They walked about the plateau, an area of fairly high ground. So midway around the opposite cliff, on the opposite side, taunting him. What do you mean by taunting? A remark made to anger, wound or provoke someone. Some of you are very good at that, right? Provoking others, yes. So like that, the whole family provoked him with his cowardice. Oh, you're such a coward, you can't fly. Why do they do that? Cowardice means lack of bravery. So why do they do that? They thought that will tempt him to fly. When they make fun of him, when they wound him with the words that you are a coward, you cannot fly, it will do it. But even that couldn't provoke him. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. So this poor young seagull, he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. After the parents and the siblings left the place, he had not eaten anything. So he was definitely would have been hungry. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. So this is like a naughty child who tries to get the attention of the parents. He did all this thinking that, seeing that he is standing on one leg and trying to fall asleep, the parents might come. But nobody took any notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. So siblings already dozing. He saw that. His father was preening his feathers on his white back. Preening means making an effort to maintain, beautifying his feathers. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scratched each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. Why? Why did the sight of the food madden him? Yes, he was so hungry, and seeing the piece of fish there, made him almost mad with hunger. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet it means to sharpen it. Oh, how he longed to do all that. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. So try to get the attention of the mother. Ga, 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 will you bring it to me? Ga, kala, she screamed back derisively. Derisively means in a very ridiculing manner. But he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively means in a pitiful little voice. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. So this was a situation. The mother was trying to get the attention of the child with a piece of fish. The child naturally got tempted, asked for the food, but the mother ridiculed him. But after a minute or so, the child uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. So seeing that the mother has taken a piece of it and is coming towards me, the young seagull felt so happy. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet. You visualize the scene. Tapping the rock with his feet, so eager to get it. Trying to get nearer to her as he flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. Halted means stopped. Her wings motionless. The piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. So only that much far. It's almost within the reach of the young seagull's beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer. And then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. So he was so mad with hunger. You know the use of the word mad, maddened. Maddened by hunger. He's mad with hunger. So he forgot about everything else. He forgot about his fear. He forgot about his fear to fly. Maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Monstrous means horrifying terror. He was controlled by that, seized him. The terror took hold of him forcefully, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. This condition that he couldn't hear anything and his heart stood still, that fear, terror and all, lasted only a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, 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 kola. His mother swooped past him. The mother was so happy seeing that. See the expression of joy. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Curveting is leaping like a horse. So the whole family was happy. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, the greenery under the sea, with little ridges. Little ridges is a long, narrow hilltops, moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning to him, calling him through gestures, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green. So the young seagull, he dropped his legs to stand. He thought that he can stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright. So when his legs sank in it, he got afraid again. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise. Exhausted means too tired. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He has made his first flight. How the whole family enjoyed it. That is the lesson. Now, thinking about the text, questions 2 and 3, you will write in your notebook. Okay, thank you.